This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The Trippers, the Grasshoppers, the Hip Ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Raise your consultant standing by, caller 9844999. Ola will play profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, a new survey found the worst things that you can wear on a date.
All right, the worst things you can wear on a date.
Mm-hmm. 2 of which include footwear.
Crocs.
1.
Shoes and sandals, or socks and sandals.
There you go, socks and sandals, and then you also have wrinkled clothes.
Corduroy.
People aren't wearing socks and sandals.
Corduroy would be weird.
I bet you they are, man. I mean, just...
If the date's at the beach, Ted.
Take your socks off.
Right. Take your thing. Mike,
But
even
my
as
feet get
King
cold out
Whitey,
here.
you're not that white. You are not wearing the sandals.
I think corduroy would be weirder.
Corduroy?
Corduroy's got to be almost back in fashion.
But they've made it better.
Okay.
It's no longer... You don't feel like you're going to start a fire between your...
All right.
You don't hear people walking from 10 feet. Zig, 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 zig.
A turtleneck sweater.
A turtleneck sweater.
Yeah. Because it just seemed like that would tell you, like, I'm real uptight.
Or I have a lot of hickeys that I'm covering.
Yeah.
Or I'm filthy rich. Only super rich people wear turtlenecks.
That could be true. That could be true as well.
Believe it or not,
Jobs or Drake.
Believe it or not, millennials like doing their taxes. According to a new survey, 52% of them enjoy it versus 21% of people over 55.
You know what that tells me? It tells me they're getting money back.
About to say, they're getting their refunds.
That's what the term... Like, I don't enjoy the process of doing taxes, but if I'm going to getting money back, what a great time.
Right.
If I owe money,
Also,
it sucks.
The older you get, the more complicated your taxes go just based on life.
My taxes were never simple.
Your taxes were never simple.
No.
Why is
the
that?
auctioneering world?
Yeah, the auctioneering world, I'm a private contractor, so there's no taxes taken out of my checks.
Oh,
so I end up owing
you're
a lot of
screwed.
money at the end of the year.
Do you put money aside as you go through the year, man?
As best as I can, man.
Would it be cool if the IRS did an auction and maybe you could get your taxes cut down a little bit? You're like, I got my calculator $150, $200, $250, $250, $250,
I wish.
$300, $300, $300.
Let me do an auction for him to get rid of my taxes. How much would you pay to use a nice, clean, well-stocked public bathroom?
Nothing.
I'd throw $1 in.
I'll put a quarter in there.
According to a new survey, 56% of Americans, like Miles, would be willing to pay at least 25 cents, and 6% like Ted would spend $1 or more.
Hey, you know what, man? If they had a really nice toilet for like $1 or $2, maybe,
What do you really
depending on
expect
the
for $1 or
situation.
$2?
You know what I mean? Like,
here's my whole thing, right? I'm spending a lot of money on a beer or food at this sporting event. I have no issue throwing $1 in so I can take a good poop.
if you need to.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Because there's nothing worse than it's like halftime of a sporting event, right? So you're past the first half. I don't care, maybe periods if you're a hockey guy. But then you gotta sometimes you gotta poop at a game, and it's like you're not finding a stall that's clean.
And here's the bottom line:
Pee and pubes on every seat.
I normally
the airport.
I always sit and coach, but I know when they pull that curtain, I cannot go up there and poop where the first class people do.
I know they won't let you.
They paid more money than me. I can't. There's like 5 people who can poop in that toilet, and that's it. Other than the pilot, right?
There's an age thing.
Only if you're young.
If
you
you're
can go
young or if
All
you're
right.
old enough,
Okay.
you can get in there.
But I still feel it would be cleaner based on numbers, based on the numbers game. You know
Law
what
of
I'm saying?
average.
So if you're old or young, so the people most likely to befoul your bathroom, right? Little kids who have no sense of aim and old people who just don't care anymore. You can go ahead and use first class. That's crap.
I was sitting like right behind first class, and the couple next to me was very old, like reading newspapers asleep before we took off home. So he got up to use the bathroom
Asleep before we took off.
right. Give me the funnies. And I just said, "Man, go just walk. That's 10 feet
They're
away."
not going to turn you down.
Yeah.
Right.
A new study found the jobs where people feel the loneliest and the least lonely.
The loneliest job in the world.
Yes.
Proctologist.
Oh,
Toll booth worker,
not bad, Ted.
because you're in there alone.
Yeah, lighthouse worker maybe.
The loneliest are lawyers and engineers.
People driving a train.
Damn, paying back all that college loan, all lonely.
Yeah.
And the least lonely are social workers and people in marketing.
Well, yeah.
They talk to a lot of
that
people.
makes sense.
And social workers generally can talk to anybody.
You would hope
They
so.
can, right? But then they leave after a while, Ted. Is what
gotta
I'm
be
wondering.
heavy.
Like, my cousin is a social worker, married to a social worker, and like they're awesome to hang out with. But like, Tommy can always talk.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
A new study found the cheapest cities in America based on their cost of living.
Do you want to, or would you be willing to live in any of them?
I have no idea what they are. I'm not working on it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well, you know they're not going to be the cultural meccas that you want them to be.
No.
Yeah.
I would think so. Or they can't be cheap for a reason. I mean, we're not without reason.
Right.
There's a reason they're cheap. I'm sure you could go to a lot of places and find a cheap place, and then you look around.
But
and
they're
go,
saying the
I understand
place is
this
cheap.
is why it's cheap,
Right.
You know,
A new poll asked people what's worse, real fur, which is considered by many to be cruel, or fake fur, which is usually made from plastics that can take centuries to biodegrade. 24% said fake fur is worse, and 16% said real is worse, while 41% said that they're just both bad.
100% of animals responding said real fur is worse.
That's right.
eat more chicken.
Right.
I'm just wondering if 41% said they're both bad because they put it that way.
Probably.
Real fur where they killed animals, or fake fur which is plastic in the ground.
Yeah, but they're drinking out of their water bottle going on about the fur coat. My money says if you have a fake fur coat, put it this way, if you own a fake fur coat, I bet you have one. I bet you probably had more than one bottled water today, or bottled something.
And you probably had like 10 fake purses.
Yeah.
A man in Orlando was running from the police and happened to run past an unlocked bike. But instead of jumping on it to get away, he threw it at the police, and then he jumped into a lake to hide, but he got arrested.
See,
I'll show the coppers.
this is the dumbest thing in the world. What is wrong? Like you're in Orlando, Florida. A kid was at Disney World and got eaten by an alligator.
Right.
You don't jump in water.
Ever.
Even your own pool. You turn the light on and you look in and you go, is there an alligator in my pool tonight? And then you go, no. All right, I'll get in.
Right, a kid was
I'm not
eating
kidding,
at
man.
Disney.
I would take any other option than jumping into fresh water in Orlando, Florida.
Right.
Any
can't go
other
golfing.
Any other option?
What if it was going to be his third strike?
It could be my son.
Ride the bike.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the rhyme. If it's your third strike,
God.
you best ride the bike.
I don't even, man. I
Risk the gator or the lightning,
don't
Miles.
even know if I'd stand up paddleboard in that crap, man.
No.
It's like a stupid idea.
It's called dinner and a show.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to mess it up.
Whoops.
It's gonna get eaten by an alligator. No, I'm not getting in there.
Easy, big cat.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's move on. Miles getting fired up. All right.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. Jumping into fresh water in Florida.
I wish people could have heard that.
A woman
By the
in
way, apparently, gators, racist. That's what this white a-hole. And there's a man on the paddleboard begging for me to eat his ass.
Oh, Lordy. A woman in Florida broke into a car at a car dealership to take a nap, but she lit a cigarette inside and the car caught on fire. A cop went up helping her escape, and then he arrested her.
You know what? That is actually our next story for Profile.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll share the details. You
All right, good.
It's
I was going to ask Mike, but he probably is not working on it.
He's lazy.
Yeah, it's exactly right, Ted. A 911 operator got a phone call from a citizen concerned about strange animals loose in the park.
What kind of animals?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now. But first, the game is
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola. All right, Andy, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. Mike just shared the story, but here it is again. Deputies say they were called to a car dealership on reports of a suspicious incident. Now, when the cops got there, they found a 62-year-old woman inside of one of the dealership vehicles. The front windshield to the car was absolutely shattered. Now, she told deputies that she broke into the vehicle and locked herself inside. She said that she did it so that she could go to sleep. But before she did, she smoked a cigarette. For reasons we can't explain, instead of extinguishing the cigarette, she simply threw it under the front seat of the car. That's what, of course, sparked the fire. Now, keep in mind, she broke into the car, she throws the cigarette in the front seat, and now the inside of the car is on fire with her in it. Just to give you an idea of her state of mind, she told the police she couldn't get out of the car, so she began to smash out the front windshield with her hands and her feet. And keep in mind, as she's talking to the cops, she's still in the car. They're standing on the outside of it. So deputies were able to show her how to exit the vehicle, unlock the door, and she was removed. Then they used a fire extinguisher. They put out the flames. She was transported to the Marion County Jail on charges of burglary of an unoccupied structure and felony criminal mischief. Do you believe that the cigarette-smoking genius is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
What city was this in again?
Oh, hang on here. It is in Marion County, Florida. Marion County, Florida.
Ooh, Marion County, Florida. Smoking inside of a car sounds pretty white trash to me.
Can we get a brand of cigarette? Did it say?
It does not say. See, that would be a huge tell, right?
Did it say why the car caught on fire other than just flicking it? Can flicking a cigarette in a car?
It's a new car, so I don't know. Maybe they had papers still down where you'd normally put your feet, right? You know what I mean? This is a car they're trying to sell. She breaks in. She gets in the back seat, flicks the cigarette up front. I'm assuming maybe they had the paper that is often in new cars. Either way, it catches on fire. It does not occur to her to unlock the door and simply climb out, so she's trying to kick and punch her way through the front windshield.
This just seems like that alcoholic, smoking, old white woman from Florida, kind of like, who looks like leather. She looks like leather, and her boobs are now between her belly buttons. You know what I mean? Like,
did she get another charge? Did she have anything else on her?
Let's see. It was burglary of an unoccupied structure, being the car, obviously, and felony criminal mischief.
Like there's something about Mary, that woman. That's what I'm picturing on this.
I'm trying not to.
All right, the combination of Florida, smoking inside a car, and the fairly lenient charges against her, I'm going to go white.
Final answer, Andy.
Final answer.
We'll find out if she was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Profile this takes us to Florida, and a woman who breaks into a car dealership, 60-some-year-old woman, and she wants to go in there and smoke a cigarette, and she does. And then she takes a cigarette and just carelessly throws it in the front seat. That catches the car on fire. And alerts fire and the police, who come and fortunately get her out of there because she didn't think she could get out of the car because she didn't know how.
Which is crazy, because it's a car. Anyway, Andy, we asked you, did you believe that this enterprising genius is black, white, Mexican, or Asian? You started with white, you stuck with white.
Boom!
Congratulations.
There you go.
You are correct. By the way, a lot of comments came in after we shared the initial story for that, and it's crazy to me, but so many different people said, look, we think the woman's white. More than that, the first thing that comes to mind is she sounds like the, your penis is too small lady. Yeah.
Too small. Now for all the TV news all the time. Time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon!
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
When you go to a sporting event, what do you like to get to eat?
Depends. Man.
I'm pretty standard, man. Like, you know, I'm fine if all they really have are hot dogs. I'm very happy if you offer a bratwurst or other sandwich. But that's usually my go-to, man. Give me something. Give me meat and a bun.
I am a bag of peanut guy.
All right, I like a soft pretzel.
Oh,
Ramen.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the sporting event is one place you can get the hot, soft pretzel. It's salty.
Pretzel's solid choice, but classic hot dog's fine, right?
Yeah.
Do we always like to get the soft pretzel? Because you're right, I'll always add that to my order. Is it because, like, basically that's the only freaking place you can really get it? Like, I can't think of another time I actually eat. I mean, you can go to a fair and all that kind of thing, but I mean, like, in the course of my normal life, the only time I'm going to get a hot, soft pretzel, I'm at a sporting event.
Oh, a bar. It's kind of making a comeback on the appetizer menu with some cheese and stuff. I've had more pretzel bars than pretzels at bars than I think I've had at sporting events.
But I think there's like a standard kind of food you expect, right? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I will say nowadays they expand into a lot of different flavors and this and that at different ballparks, which is great. But I guess you could still bring in your own food. This comes to us from a hockey game. So basically they're coming back from commercial. The camera pans over these two girls and he'll describe what they're doing.
One of the real treats you can get at the Golden One Center, a jar of mayonnaise. Share with your friends. Why not?
What?
I'm pretty convinced that's not mayonnaise. If it is, I don't know.
All right. The video's up on the Men's Room Facebook page. It's just two girls at a hockey game. It looks like eating a jar of mayonnaise. Like it looks like the Hellmann's are the best food container, depending on which side of the Mississippi you're on. And, I mean, they're just, one girl takes a bite, she passes it to her friend, she scoops it out and takes a bite.
Bet it's not vanilla pudding.
Mayonnaise.
Look.
Does it turn you on or no?
turn me on?
Not that it turns you on, but you got to think a woman that will sit there and eat a jar of mayonnaise, like, you just have to think.
This is not good. You're going to die.
Could be good.
You're going to die.
No, but I'm saying, I bet you, in the bedroom.
Maybe. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, like,
she's not above anything. If she's just going to eat mayonnaise out of a jar,
she's not going to be picky. All
right.
Yeah, Robin and I were talking about this the other day. Like, I like mayonnaise.
Sure.
But eating a spoonful of mayonnaise is like,
It's not like that spoonful of peanut butter and you get some milk. I mean, like, a spoonful of mayonnaise, to me, it's just weird, man.
Yeah, I mean, more than likely, they're just doing it as a joke. Like, for a while there, people were bringing, like, boxes of cereals to, like, basketball games and stuff.
All right.
And they would just sit there and eat them. First of all, I don't know how you're getting in a jar of mayonnaise.
But that's delicious. That's the difference. Like, you could do it as a joke and eat dry Cheerios. Kids have been doing it for years. But you bring in Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispie, any of the, like, maybe it's funny, but it's still delicious. I just feel like eating a jar of mayonnaise, like, there's no joy.
Look, they didn't take one bite each and it got caught on camera. They had to sit there
and
eat mayonnaise for a while before somebody with a camera went, hey, those two girls over there eating mayonnaise. And then, I mean, they probably got through like a third or half of the jar before they even got on camera.
It doesn't look full.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like, yeah, just go watch it. It's crazy. And they're just two chicks eating mayonnaise. Which almost sounds like a subsection.
It does, right? It's a thumbnail somewhere.
Right? Like, what is this? It's two chicks eating mayonnaise.
There's at least 1,000 videos posted.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag lunch meat.
That's right.
What it means. All right. Colonoscopies.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That's a procedure that you need to get, especially as you get a little bit older, so you don't get colon cancer or anything else. Now, obviously, the idea of going in for colonoscopy is not the highest thing on guys' list, right?
Correct.
So Katie Couric was on with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, her husband died of
colorectal cancer?
I believe so.
All right.
Yeah, I thank you, because I was going to say that wrong.
He died pretty young, too.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, right? So, obviously, it has a special spot in her heart that she kind of cares about this and wants guys to be healthy about it. So Jimmy Kimmel went with her to get a colonoscopy done. Now, afterwards, he's a little groggy, still kind of funny, but I don't know if you guys are going to like how this ends.
Everything went really well, but we did find a few interesting things, so we wanted to show you.
We found your keys, some soldiers. You've been looking for those, haven't you?
Where have you been?
And best of all, look.
Oh my gosh!
We found your harmonica, Jimmy.
Has it been sterilized?
Not yet.
But you found no polyps at all.
No polyps. And this is what a healthy colon should look like. So, we'll see you
Mazel.
In 10 years.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Katie, for invading my colon.
Your personal space.
Yes, no, it's very nice of you. So how do people sign up to get a colonoscopy? The brown pages?
Very funny. They talk to their doctor and tell them when they turn 50 or 45, if you're African American, they need a baseline screening. Most insurance plans cover it, so you should take advantage of it.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Jimmy.
So you're good, Miles.
Okay.
Yeah, why am I hearing that now, man?
I don't know. I shouldn't laugh.
No, it's hilarious.
But I heard that. I go, I'll play that clip. Yeah.
I need to call my doctor. I'm from the darkness. I'm post-due on my posterior.
They'll play this clip in 2 years and we're both dead. Like, Ted called it. He told them both to go.
It was 2018.
Oh, my God.
You got time, Miles. You're all right.
No, but it was
to get in there.
And he told him twice, listen again. See, he said, you still have time. And Miles still didn't listen. And now he's dead.
That's all right. King Whitey in there's got plenty of years.
That's right, yeah. He's all right.
No, I know. I had never heard that again. Just because I work with you and I just started giggling. It's like, oh, Thrill's going to hate that.
Yeah. I don't like that.
They've got a couple different, I think there's
Hey, if you're an African American, take your black ass down there now. You better get your black ass checked out.
It does seem like in my lifetime, every time I think I need to go in for one, they keep upping the years, which doesn't bring me much comfort either.
Not me.
I thought it was going to be when I was 40, so right before that, they're like, oh, no, you can wait till you're 50 now. And I'm like, I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about that. Like, granted,
why?
I don't want to go in there. Well, maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Maybe I want to stay awake. No, because, science-wise, you still want to go in there and make sure that everything's working.
Look, man, I like putting things off. So when the doctor even says, like, you can kind of put this, I mean, it's too late for me now, but back when they're like, hey, we raised the age, I'm like, that is so awesome. That is so awesome to me because I like putting things off.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it gets people off your back.
Did it scare you? You went in there and said, hey, Doc, check it out back there.
No, I was just
out
thinking to
the
myself,
blowhole.
boy, because I have enough problems back there. I'm like, man, I hope you're right.
Yeah, you've already had some work done.
Oh, yeah, I got a brand new ass.
It's bionic.
It is.
This is kind of sad, but nice on the same token. Basically, there was a little kid, and he wanted to have a Stranger Things themed birthday party, okay? So, from what you could tell, it looks like they went all out. He invited 8 of his friends.
They hired a real monster.
Yeah, well...
They invited 8 friends.
They invited 8 friends. Mm-hmm. None of them showed up.
Oh, Ted.
It was pretty elaborate. There was the Stranger Things cake, a happy birthday message with Christmas lights hung on the wall, Demogorgon blood punch, and a ton of food. They even say here, it almost looks like it was catered. That's how much food there were. But nobody showed up.
Are they friends when none of them show up to your birthday party? At that age, man. You know what I'm saying? Kids live and die by birthday parties. It's the single most important social engagement in their freaking life, believe me.
One of the few.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's only like an hour on a Saturday.
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
So the sister had, tweeted this out like none of those punk sleeves showed up. But the good news is, then it turned around. Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, she said, what? Oh, well, basically she's like, look, if you invited us, we would have come. So next year, please invite us. The other guy that's on the show that plays Dustin, he said, count me in too. I'll bring the chocolate pudding. Obviously, if you watch the show, you get the reference. I do not. But I like this too. The sister said the brother has confirmed that if anybody else now, because he has kind of famous friends, invite him, he's not going as payback.
Oh, that's going to be that kid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to your party with those peasants.
As nice as that is for the Stranger Things people to come in there and do that, it just shows kids suck. Every once in a while, kids are just really nasty, mean people. They really
don't know. I mean, that's the whole thing.
I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. I've been done to me and all that. But I look at it now with my own kids, and I'm like, man, kids can just be really nasty to each other.
Sure, I feel differently about my reaction to things. Like, you tell them to eat a D, mother effer, but it's like you can't tell your kid that. But that's what I'm thinking. But that's what it is to be a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like anything. Remember, we used to work with a guy where we're like, he wasn't a bad guy, but the way he talked to people, the one conclusion we realized, and we asked him about this later, 100% confirmed, we were like, man, he's never gotten his ass kicked. He just never got his ass kicked, where you get your come up as you figure some things out. So we asked him, man, have you ever gotten your ass kicked? Oh, I've never been in a fight. We're like, no, we can tell. Because you just don't know how, you still talk to people with kind of that little kid attitude. And then
I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't have kids, and I remember there was a birthday party. No.
Free to a good home.
People would be thrown off.
Yes, they would. He kidnapped them.
What's that service you got again?
It's like different strokes.
That is Pet Solutions. We do not work with
no kid solutions.
We do not work with children.
All right.
We are pro kids.
Okay.
We're not.
Hell of a slogan. Lost a lot of business with it.
We have balloons and clowns.
Get this straight, sir. You're killing animals and you're pro kids.
Tell them we have pizza rolls.
Yeah, just go ahead and hop in the police car now. I mean, I remember being a kid, not getting invited to like other kids' birthday parties.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It's just strange. Like, also, what if these 8 kids were just like, I don't want to go, and their parents were like, cool, I don't have to take you. But I mean, you know how kids are. They're here's the other thing too, though. Kids are harsher because they tell each other. But to me, the same stuff goes on when you're an adult.
We're just passive aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't just walk up to each other like punching the back of the head because we didn't appreciate your comment. Like, we drag it out, try to talk about it, we'll bring it up later.
I don't think we're having him over this weekend.
Right. Like, kids deal with stuff in that moment. That is for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Like, I don't carry a grudge. I slapped him in the face as soon as he said whatever.
And it's tough with kids, too, right? Like, I talk for a living.
Yeah.
I talk a lot, ask my friends. But when I was a child, I didn't speak. Like, I just didn't. I mean, I could talk. One thing I couldn't talk.
Chose not to.
Yeah. I just really didn't talk till I went through, like, puberty, which was a little bit later, like 14. Right. And then all of a sudden, it was like I had a personality, wanted to talk to people. So, it's always strange with kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a weird world.
You never know.
Yeah.
Damn, that's harsh, though.
Yeah, isn't it?
I mean,
yeah.
You might have 8 kids.
8 kids.
Not
Nobody showed up.
Not one of them.
Speaking of kids, there was this thing going around that Netflix was going to start giving out patches to kids. basically like the kids' account on Netflix would get a little patch if they watch TV shows. Obviously, there was some backlash to this, and Netflix has said,
I'll reward you.
We're not giving out virtual patches based on how much TV they watch.
Kids will get a sticker for the longer you listen to the men's room. Right. It's like the Clean Plate Club. But we've involved.
I mean, look, I've recently got Netflix.
Yeah.
And to me, it's one of those things like you tell some friends, you don't want to tell other people how much you've been watching it.
No. But I think everyone's in the same position. Like, because with Netflix, people are like, oh man, you haven't seen the second season of whatever. And they're like, I watched it last night. That's what I understand. Everything else is like, did you see the latest episode of? But with Netflix, it's always, I watched 13 episodes of whatever the hell show it was. I was up until 4 in the morning. Great show. Can't wait to watch the second season.
Well, I accidentally was on Netflix the other day, and I hit the wrong person. I hit my kid. And it was just, as soon as I hit the button, it just started replaying what the hell she was watching before. I'm like, oh, God, Christ, what is this crap? I'm out.
All my Netflix is cartoons that I don't recognize. Dad, how do you not know who that is?
Teen drama.
Because I don't care.
Sometimes I think all of us will go out and have a few too many beverages.
Yeah. Depends who you ask. If you ask people that aren't us, yes.
Jimmy Fallon here, summing up some My Drunk Story tweets.
Now I thought I'd share some of my favorite My Drunk Story tweets from you guys. Here we go. This first one is from @Ellen M. Laurie. She says, one night I got so drunk at the bar that I stole a girl's birthday crown off her head, went to another bar, and made everyone there buy me birthday drinks. It's my special day. This one's from @JordanWhite4. She says, my drunk friends and I ordered an Uber once, and the driver texted me, I'm here for you. I texted back, OMG, that's so sweet. You're my best friend. Hey, my best friend. This one's from @MaddieShay524. She says, this was my search history after a night at the bar. It says, Max Pizza Sticks and how to undrunk yourself. That's fantastic. This one is from @DebAura. She says, I once drunkenly turned myself into the lost and found at a baseball game after I went to the restroom during the 7th inning stretch and couldn't remember where my seat was. Like, hi, I'm missing. I think I'm missing. This one's from @ThePolishista. She says, I once got so drunk that I began crying when I realized my parakeet had to live his life without hands. What? That's too much. You've had too much. You've had too much to drink. I'm sorry. This one's from @MC125. She says, my friend got so drunk one night, he went to the tattoo shop across the street and got the name Brad tattooed under his arm so he'd have a Brad Pitt tattoo. And that's it.
Jesus. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's funny, though.
But nobody's going to see it.
No.
Unless you want them to.
Yeah, that's a good story, though. Like, what do you have Brad on your arm? It's a Brad Pitt, man.
Yeah.
I got drunk. This is the decision I made. So to one of the guys that does my tattoos, he's like, because we always talk, and, man, what's either the weirdest or the worst tattoo? And he said, look, it wasn't the worst. It was just the most uncomfortable to do because it's an actual friend of his. This is someone he knows and sees all the time. And he's like, he comes in to get a tattoo, which is nothing new. However, he wanted the tattoo on his scrotum. So automatically, this is going to suck because it's your buddy who you talk to, and at some point, his scrotum's going to be in my hand, and I'm driving a needle in it. But his buddy wanted the $sign on his scrotum so that it would look like a money bag from the cartoons. I'm like, did you do it? He goes, yeah. And I said, well, it's kind of the wrinkliest part of the body. And if you're getting a tattoo, man, you want your skin, smooth as you can do it for obvious reasons. I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, we had to stretch it over the top of a Coke can.
Oh.
So that he could put a $sign.
Put like a rubber band on it?
I don't know, man. He's like, it sucked, and I just wanted to get it over with.
No wonder millennials aren't drinking Coke anymore. They have the skinny cans now.
That's so weird.
But it's
you
great.
have to think, too, like, the older you get, man, that thing is going to...
It's not going to be a $sign by the time it's done.
No. And it'll be green.
It's going to look like...
That's the old ink.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
It's going to look like he's got a couple sticks hanging out on there. Also, I know there's a lot of different sports on and stuff, but the number one show in the land, of course, NCIS.
God almighty.
I mean, that thing just dominates. NCIS New Orleans came in the top 10 as well. And, of course, NCIS Los Angeles.
That's Mark Harmon might secretly be like one of the most successful people on television.
Yeah, he's the producer of NCIS.
Right? Oh, I think there's a huge section of this country that loves Mark Harmon.
Oh, I know. I mean, but you just don't think of it like as a household name, whatever. Like, he might technically be the most successful guy in television.
Like, you
for
don't
the last
hear about it.
I hope when he goes to Vegas, he's champagne and just throwing
I'm
ones
Mark
out.
Harmon, exactly. Like, I'm off. I'm going off with Bob Saget tonight.
That's summer school
Crazy
money.
Mark Harmon. All right, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Still to come, we got your headlines on the way with Mike Hawk. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. We go to Arizona, where police were called after a citizen sees dinosaurs in the park. To the movies in England, where a man is eaten and killed by a chair as he sat in the theater in the dark. In Niceville, Florida, people on the lookout for old woman playing with pebbles on the street. A man steals car, but kidnapping charges he'd actually kind of like to beat. And a 101-year-old actress says she is not the bitch you think she is. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story, a 911 operator in Eloy got a call from a concerned citizen that took the city's Day of the Dinosaurs celebration at the local park. He called 911 asking if the dinosaurs were in the park were actually real.
Come on, man.
I don't know if they move or if they're just big plastic dinosaurs, but they look
Doesn't
fairly
matter.
real. But yes, he actually asked if they were real. When interviewing the man that owned the dinosaurs in the event, he said, "You'd be surprised it happens more often than you think."
Like, are you calling from 65 million years ago?
Right. Saying that his favorite incident was when animal control was actually called. It's dinosaurs, people.
Why you don't jump into a lake in Orlando?
And by the way, why would you call... some things are just not in your pay grade. So if I'm working animal control and there's legitimately a velociraptor running through the park, like, hey, man, you need to call someone who's going to shoot that bitch.
Man, it's the same reason why you'd call the army if Godzilla was terrorizing the town.
Yeah, you're going to call the cops. We'll be right there.
Exactly. What are you going to do?
Right. You there, 400-foot tall, fire-breathing lizard.
It's who I knew to call so that I didn't have to deal with what's going on.
Yeah, basically.
Get it to somebody else. Around the world, we go to Florida, where it turns out that criminals do, in fact, have a conscience. The hero of this story is actually a robber that made off with a woman's car at a gas station. But surveillance footage shows the robber pulling up to another gas station, unstrapping the woman's baby from the back seat, and rushing the child into the adjoining restaurant.
You don't have a conscience?
How heroic.
Do you know the difference between stealing a car and kidnapping?
I do.
Because it's a big difference in the charge, dude. If you take someone's child, they send off an Amber Alert. Everyone is looking for that car. No kid? Nah, maybe you can somehow try to finagle your way out of those charges, but they will still try to hit you with them.
If the person were 18, he'd open the door, push their ass out, and kept driving.
Nobody wants someone else's child.
Wow.
That's
God
what
damn it,
like
man.
a
Ask any
benefit of the
step parent in
doubt.
America about that. They tolerate
He
it.
stole the woman's car.
Yeah, the only one was the car. He didn't want a kid.
Maybe he
Nice
just
enough.
needed a car.
That's like, you know.
I
Could have just kept the kid. Could have tossed
made
him out the window.
I think he made the right decision given the circumstance, but I do not believe
That's not what
it's
he
his
thought was
conscience.
going to happen. That's like kissing a dog and getting cancer. That's not how it's supposed to happen. You know?
How is that like kissing a dog and getting cancer?
It's not supposed to be that way. I just wanted the Kia. I didn't want a child. You know what I mean? Like that's not part of the deal here.
Oh, mercy.
You know what, man? I equate it to like Sully, the airplane pilot.
Yeah.
Right, did a great job, saved all these people's lives. But remember, when that plane was going, he was not thinking about the passengers. He's thinking, I don't want to die.
Yeah,
and
fair
luckily for the other people on the plane, he had that commitment to self-preservation. Landed the plane and say he's a hero. I'm like, no, he's a hell of a pilot.
I know it's technically the way you're supposed to do in a water landing, but he did hit tail first. Like, I'll just put these people in the back. Nice and slow it down to the tail.
I think he was jacked up.
Gently
I've
land
been
the
training
front
for
here.
this. I've been teaching
I
about
got this ass.
Ready.
He hit that goose on purpose.
A bizarre accident at a British movie theater. A man had dropped his phone between a couple of reclining seats in the theater and went to retrieve it. While under the seat, the chair shifted and clamped down on his head. He began to panic and actually went into cardiac arrest.
Oh, Jesus.
Paramedics managed to restart his heart, but he passed at the hospital.
Damn.
I'm just trying to figure out
He
how in
went
the
to
hell
the
that
movie.
happened. Yes.
And it's one of those electric automatic recliners.
Right.
He reaches down to get his phone. I'm trying not to laugh. The footrest
Comes down on his head.
on his head. And as a result of going to the movies and being attacked by a reclining chair, he is no longer on this earth.
Correct.
That is, look, if there is an afterlife, I think he has every right to show up pissed.
I'm just wondering how hard it was clamped on his head because he went into cardiac arrest. It's not like he suffered any kind of a brain damage or anything other than what the cardiac arrest might have done to him. But he freaked out so much that he gave himself a heart attack. So how hard was it clamping down, or did he just have this massive fear?
I'm going to choose not to find out.
Right. Fair enough.
Stick your head in there, kid.
Quit screaming, you'll be fine. Actress Olivia I'm going to screw up that word. Olivia de Havilland is suing FX over a naughty word. She was portrayed in a project called Feud, Bet and Joan, in which she is being portrayed as being gossipy and called her sister Joan a bitch.
All right.
She claimed that she would never use that word to describe her sister and says the studio had no right to use her identity. She said that she did admit to calling her a dragon lady, but she would never call her a bitch.
I would never call her a bitch. I called her a dragon
Can't
lady.
they just both be happy they're all 101 years old and just say the hell with it? Like, why do we even have to have a squabble here? Shouldn't we just be happy that we're breathing under our own power?
But I did not say bitch.
She wants to be remembered the way she was, Miles.
A broad.
Right.
A dame.
Apparently, if you used that word in her household, you'd get your mouth washed out with soap. I'd never called my sister a bitch.
I called her a dragon lady.
Called her a dinosaur. Yeah, that would be the most. That would be
She
the
was a
most
dragon lady.
unfortunate thing you could call a 101-year-old person is a dinosaur.
Oh yeah,
dinosaur in a corner going to die yet or what? I mean, that's really
because you start meaning it a little more.
Exactly.
I wonder if you're the lawyer, do you just kind of hold out on that lawsuit?
I will brush you with a paintbrush so I don't crowd any crumbs off of you.
Officials in Idaho have been forced to put down a snapping turtle because of its recent diet. A teacher at a local school was, quote, demonstrating the circle of life after school to a group of students by feeding a terminally ill and deformed puppy to the snapping turtle. The Idaho Department of Agriculture then seized the animal and put it down because it was a non-native species that required a permit, saying that snapping turtles are highly adaptable and top-tier predators in their environment.
Then they killed the snapping turtle the next day.
Yes, they put it down.
Unbelievable.
That's it for your headlines. With that, my cock is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Big Dummy Ted's Meat and Potatoes. No as Sherlock and another round to profile this.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. All of that tomorrow. But for right now, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.